Great people who did some not so great things. Like, very not great. You'll see what I mean. First up, Dr. Seuss. Turns out the man behind Green Eggs and Ham served up some seriously questionable behavior on the side. First, let's talk about Theodore Geisel's idea of loyalty. Yes, that's his real name. While his first wife Helen was battling a debilitating illness and severe depression, Geisel decided that was a perfect time to have an affair. Because nothing says in sickness and in health like breaking your vows, right? Helen eventually discovered the affair, and the devastation drove her to write a heartbreaking note before tragically ending her life. And what did Dr. Seuss do in the wake of this tragedy? He married his mistress less than a year later. That's one way to process grief. But it doesn't stop there. Before he was rhyming about Loraxes and Sneetches, Geisel had a darker artistic side. During World War II, he churned out a series of political cartoons that were blatantly racist, particularly towards Japanese Americans. He even supported the internment camps. It's hard to reconcile that with the guy who taught us that a person's a person no matter how small. And let's not forget the contradictions. This is the same man who later wrote stories about equality and acceptance, like the Sneetches, which carried a moral about rejecting prejudice. So, was it personal growth or PR redemption? We'll never know. But Horton hearing a Who suddenly feels a lot less heartwarming when you know what Geisel thought of real people. Next up, Einstein. The fellow who made E equals mc squared a household equation, and basically wrote the playbook for modern physics. But while he was busy unraveling the mysteries of the universe, his personal life was less scientific genius and more daytime soap opera. Let's start with his first wife, Mileva Maric. She wasn't just his spouse, she was also a physicist in her own right. Some historians believe Mileva might have contributed to his early breakthroughs, including his groundbreaking theories. So how did Einstein repay her? By treating her like an unpaid lab assistant, of course. While his name was going on papers and awards, hers wasn't even in the footnotes. And when their marriage started to crumble, Einstein did not try to fix things. Instead, he handed Mileva a list of conditions for staying married. This masterpiece of romance included demands like, "You will not expect any intimacy from me," and "You will keep the bedroom and study tidy." Because nothing says marital bliss like a man too busy for affection but very concerned about dusting. Eventually, she had enough and left. And Einstein, did he reflect, grow, and try to be better? Nope, he turned around and married his cousin, Elsa. Yup, the same guy who reshaped the way we see the cosmos thought that keeping it all in the family was a perfect idea. Then, while married to Elsa, he didn't quite decide to walk a straight line. He had multiple affairs, often admitting to them in letters as if fidelity was some optional social experiment. Sure, the guy was a genius, but evidently, intelligence and emotional maturity are not related in any way. While he was redefining physics, he was also redefining what it meant to be a horrible partner. Winston Churchill, you know him, the cigar smoking, speech giving British leader who helped save the world in World War II. His never surrender attitude kept Britain going when things looked hopeless. And honestly, he deserves credit for being a major reason the Nazis didn't win. But here's the thing, Churchill wasn't all speeches and glory. He made some really questionable decisions, and they weren't exactly tiny mistakes.